my god. Neuvillette is broken. I don't think you need to hear any more than that, but without further ado, let's get straight into his kit. Neuvillette is a main DPS Hydro unit that applies an insane amount of Hydro with his basic attack, but specifically his charge attack. Neuvillette has a new charge attack playstyle that is similar to Hydro Traveler, but his charge attack charges up into a massive laser beam. Although at base form it takes 4 seconds for it to charge up and lasts for 3 seconds, if there are any source water droplets around Neuvillette, he will absorb them, making them decrease his charge attack time. These droplets last for 15 seconds, which is a long time. Now you might be wondering how to obtain these water droplets. Well, when you use Neuvillette's skill, he drops 3 water droplets, but his skill also regenerates 4 energy particles. When you use his burst, he drops 6 water droplets. So even though his skill and burst do a lot of damage, they also help Neuvillette with energy, and they are an easier way to charge up his charge attacks. His charge attacks hit for up to 8 times and scaled off his max HP. And you know what that means. It's probably not going to be too hard to build him, right? Well, we'll get into that later, so stay tuned. Let's talk about his passive. His Frost passive makes it so that when an ally triggers a Hydro-related reaction, he gains a stack. The max amount of the stacks he can gain are 3, and each stack increases his charge attack damage by 110%, going up till 130% and capping at 160%. At its max, it stops at 30% Hydro damage bonus. So when playing Neuvillette, it will be very beneficial if you could stay above 80% of your max HP. Now let's get into his talent priority. I would prioritize his basic attack first because it is his main source of damage. You can level up his normal attacks to whatever level you prefer, but if you're a die-hard Goku fan, then level it up to max. Or don't, it's your choice. Next, I would prioritize his burst. The water droplets his burst provides you with stay the same no matter what the level is, but leveling it up would be a good source of overall damage. And lastly would be his skill. His skill isn't too special overall, but this is a good thing because it makes him a cheap character to build because he doesn't need high level talents to do a lot of damage. It's really just his normal attacks. Now let's move on to his artifacts. But this part of the video might be a little confusing, so make sure you're listening well. His best artifact set is Marie Hunter. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But for his flower, you're probably going to aim for double crits, HP percent, and elemental mastery or ER. Same goes for the feather. But for the sands, you should go for HP percent. If you want to do his burst more often, then you could go for ER sands, but that's probably not going to be efficient because of the weapon you might choose to run on him. But do as you like. Substats on the sands should be crit, ER, only if you're going HP percent main stat, and HP if you're going ER percent main stat. Other substats that are viable on him are EM and flat HP. Flat HP is okay for a little bit more damage, but it's not the best. For the goblet, go for Hydro damage bonus because he's a Hydro DPS after all. And for the circlet, go for whatever crit you need. Subsets stay the same as before. And now for weapons. When it comes to weapons, Neuvillette's best in slot would be his signature, Rite of Eternal Flow. This weapon grants him with 16% more HP, 8 energy per rotation, a massive 36% charge attack bonus, and 88% crit damage main stat, making this weapon his #1 go-to. Another weapon that you can consider is Sacrificial Jade, because it gives him bonus crit rates and a lot of HP percent. And since he scales off HP percent, this means that this weapon can help him deal a lot of damage. This weapon also gives him a ton of crit rate. And because of this, you might want to go for a crit damage circlet. Now for the F2P weapons. He has 2 good F2P weapons that can be better than the other depending on your build. The first weapon would be Favonia's Codex, Of course, Favonius Codex is on the list because Favonius weapons are just broken. Just like how your screen's gonna be when you lose the 50-50 to Chi-Chi again. Quick pause. If you made it this far into the video, I salute you. So don't let your efforts go to waste and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Let's continue talking about Neuvillette. Where were we at again? Oh yeah, we were talking about how busted the Favonius Codex is. This weapon is amazing on Neuvillette because it gives him so much energy recharge. It's not even funny. Because of all the ER it gives you, you shouldn't even consider an energy recharge stance at all. Neuvillette can proc the energy recharge passive from Favonius Codex twice per rotation, making it an amazing weapon for him. Prototype Amber is also an amazing choice because it gives him a lot of HP percent. It also allows him to heal the team. So yeah, he can be a healer and a main DPS. In other terms, he's broken. So if you're lacking energy recharge, I would pick Favonius Codex over Prototype Amber. But if you have enough energy recharge from probably substats, then for more DPS go for Prototype Amber. Now let's move on to his constellations. Neuvillette's first constellation grants him 1 stack from his Ascension 1 passive, but it also gives him a 100% chance to resist interruption while doing his charged attack. Yeah, I'm sorry Dea, you're trash again. With his C2, for each stack of Neuvillette's A1 passive, he will gain a 14% charged attack damage bonus, which stacks up to about 42%. And because he will most likely always have 4 stacks, this means he'll most likely always have a 42% charge attack bonus. And guess what his C3 does? Well, just like every other C3 in the game, it boosts his talent level by 3. His normal attack level goes up by 3, and this includes his charged attacks and plunge attacks. And this increase in level makes his damage increase by 23.8%. His C4 makes it so that when Neuvillette is on the field and has been healed, he drops 1 water droplet. It can occur every 4 seconds. His C5 makes his burst level up by 3, and since his burst isn't really his main source of damage, this constellation isn't too useful. His C6 though is amazing, but before I tell you what his C6 does, I want to let out a disclaimer that you don't need to feel pressure to pull for a C6 character because it sounds impressive, but you can do whatever you would like. Anyway, back to the video. His C6 basically makes it so that the water droplets he absorbs increases the duration of his charge attack by 1 second. And once every 2 seconds, if Neuvillette is hitting an enemy with his charge attack, he will fire 2 missiles at the enemy. These missiles will also apply Hydro, making C6 Neuvillette a really good character. I personally am skipping his banner because I'm waiting for Farina. So yeah.